Alright, in this lesson what we're going to do is look at some area rules. Some of them will be familiar to you, some of them might be new. And if we're talking about area, we're talking about the amount of space taken up on the inside of a 2D shape. Right, amount of space inside the 2D shape. Right, so we have quite a number of shapes that we're used to seeing here. Remember, there's quite a lot of rules to remember, so please write them down as you go. If we've got our square, we've got 4 sides that are exactly the same. Our side is labelled S, obviously, for side, so our area is going to equal side squared. Side times side there. This is our rectangle. We've got a length, we've got a width. So, this should be our most common one that we recognise. Our area is going to equal our length times our width. We've got a triangle. Now triangles are a bit trickier. We've got this here, which is our base, and we've got to think about the height as how high this this triangle goes based on a right angle from the base. So our triangle's area equals base times by our height, and we're going to divide it by 2. If we just did base times height, what we'd actually get is trying to find the area of a rectangle. So we divide that by 2 because we're not actually taking the whole thing. Alright, this is our parallelogram, which means we've got 2 pairs of parallel sides. Parallelogram. And it kind of looks like a rectangle that's tipped, but it's got a bit different as well because this is our height, and we have to think about how high it is and how far along that base goes. So we're using B and H one more time. So B for base, H for height. Our area is simply the base times the height, because it's kind of like doing a rectangle. It's just a little bit different in the way it's orientated. Okay, this is a trapezium. Can also be called a trapezium. Also be called a trapezoid. Could also be called lots of different names depending on where you see it. Alright, so we're going to call them trapeziums, and we've got 2 sides here that are parallel. We're going to call one A and one B. It also helps you to remember that B there is the base sitting on the bottom. And we have our area equals our A plus our B multiplied by the height of this object, how high it goes up, so how far between A and B, and then we're going to divide that by 2 once again. Okay, so there's a lot going on there. And you can see we have S in a square, we have L and W in the rectangle. You've got to learn where all these different letters fit in as well. Okay, our circle is no different. We've got R for radius, remember, and that is the distance between the centre of the circle and the outside arc there. So our area here is equal to pi times R squared. The radius times the radius, so pi times radius times radius. That's really what we're looking at there. These 2 shapes here, we've got a kite in the middle here and a rhombus. Now a rhombus is that square that's tipped on its side in the same way that the rectangle and the parallelogram kind of tip as well. That's how you've got to think about it. We've got a bit of a different type of thing here in that we have to look at how high, or the distance between the lowest point and the highest point in the kite, and then the distance between the 2 widest points. So the distance from the side to the side and the top and the bottom. And what we're going to do is we're going to call one X, let's call this one X and this one Y, and the area here is simply X times Y divided by 2, and that's for our rhombus as well. Right, how far apart are those points on the side and how far apart are those points from top to bottom. Once again, lots of rules there. Draw the shape, write the rule and use it as often as you can. That's the only way we're going to learn to remember them and apply them.